Alright. What's up, gang? Guess what? We have a little thing called the new maps. Just been announced. Season comes out in about 2 weeks, guys. Week starting August 19th. We're gonna have new maps in the pool. I'm gonna take a look at these and see what we've got. So for 1v1, we start off, of course, with Disco Bloodbath LE. Very cool design. You got this all like these Rubik's Cube type colored things everywhere. I'm assuming this is just colored ground in the middle. There's like it's a literal disco dance floor. That's what the name was, right? Oh my god, what did I just press? Oh my god! How do I? There we go. Click back. Disco Bloodbath. Okay, cool. So, looks like the players spawn here and here. So you get a natural protected up in the corner, and you get a nice tight ramp going up to it. Pretty big main base. Like no real siege tank angles from the low ground for TVT. Where do you go for your third base from here? Here or here? So this one actually has two pretty narrow choke points in front of it, and there's destructible debris to open that up wider. So this is a very defensible base, like for ZVP early on. Let's see, what about this one though? This one's also only got one relatively narrow choke point. It's a lot further out though from this area. So like, yeah, I feel like this base is a little bit closer to that ramp fighting out here than it is to go all the way out there to fight there, but not much of a difference. And yet again, another bigger path that can be opened up with the destructible rocks. So, excuse me, lots of rocks on this map. Now, from what I can tell, that's high ground up here. So you've got to go kind of, to get to the other person's base, you go zoop, 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 zoop. Something like that. Something like this. And obviously you could go and go through the middle like that. Interesting. Do we have green shot open? I should totally be using green shot for this, eh? Let's do it. Then we can get our little brush. Draw freehand, line thickness, red. Woo! We can do red lines. Yay! All right, so we got this opening green shot. So like I said, it looks like this would probably be the fastest path across the map. Longer rush distance, it feels like. I'm not sure if that's a watchtower or not in the very middle of the map. But I'm imagining, yeah, these are your first 4 bases, basically no matter what. Now, some people might just ignore that middle base and expand along the edge. That is always an option, to just kind of go right along the edge here. And then, you know, it could technically end up in this sort of weird base layout. But I think more likely, these corner bases aren't going to get taken and you're going to take that little pocket one in the middle a bit earlier. In terms of actual high ground areas, we've got obviously a high ground here. This whole middle area. This whole middle area is a high ground. So this is low ground down here. I mean, this is also high ground up here, right? So could be some interesting positions. Like, so for instance, if you kind of get siege tanks up on this high ground area and here, your opponent can get kind of choked in a little bit. Do you guys remember Blackpink? If you got contained by siege tanks, TVT, that could sometimes be a thing. Because there's a choke point, it's very good defensively, but it also means if you get sieged up on it by lurkers or tanks or disruptors, you can get pinned back a little bit. Other than that, looks like there'd be some decent movement around the map. Like if a player, you know, if this bottom player has expanded to this corner of the map, we're gonna see more fighting from that high ground, low ground, and then back up to the high ground. Low ground trying to break up into the high ground, low ground trying to break up into the high ground. This high ground area are gonna be really nice areas to control. This whole central region generally. Cool, very curious to see where that one goes, guys. I like the design. The aesthetic is very nice on that map. We'll see exactly how it goes. Next up we have, oh by the way, what's it say? It says, take your place on the dance floor, show off your best moves, take the victory, be cautious. The colorful tiles and flashy lights might interfere with your vision and allow your opponent to sneak up on you. Wait, are they saying it's purposely gonna be hard to see shit on this map? That's kind of funny. I think it's a joke. Oh, actually, no. What does Femoris say? A series of small bridges and ramps aid in defense and emphasize positional awareness. Destroy the rocks to open up larger, unobstructed attack paths across the higher ground. Okay. All right. So once again, I'll just throw this one into green shot quickly. Okay. Oops. Main, natural, third. So very basic 3-base layout on this map. And that looks like a no-brainer fourth. And then either fifth there or there. Pretty unlikely you're gonna go to this base just because look at the path to get down there. It's a bit awkward to get over there, right? It's very separate. So you might, for instance, like if you're Zerg up against Mech, you might be like, oh, I'll take this fourth, but then I'll take the fifth over here. Just so, you know, if your opponent kind of pushes over, breaks down these rocks and comes through here, and pushes this bridge area, it's really hard to engage on these bridges. So you just kind of pull all your drones and transition them to the other side of the map, and then your opponent pushes down there, and you're like, oh shit, I can't defend these bridges, but you've re-expanded to the top side, and you're like, you know, doing that, run the drones to the opposite side, do a lot of backstabbing. So let's take a look at the actual natural to natural. That's always the one thing I'm really interested in. What is the direct path? Straight through a narrow bridge. There's 3 bridges all in a row. And yeah, that's your natural to natural. So pretty reasonably short rush distance, but some areas in the middle where like TVT skirmishes are going to get really powerful on those bridges. You know, you can have some lovely little things that can go on. Now, is that destructible bocage? I don't even know what bocage means, man. There's destructible rocks there. I don't know if there's any cooling towers to, like that looks kind of like a cooling tower to me, right? But I think it's just terrain. No, that's just terrain. There's no, the cooling towers, of course, I mean like the ones you can collapse to make rocks fall down. We don't see those very much anymore, do we? No, we don't. So, oh, what else have we got here? What else have we got? I guess hedge, tall grass. So those are sight blockers. Gotta watch out for these. Destructible rocks there. Destructible rocks there. So yeah, a lot of paths that can open up, but until you take those rocks down, the only way across this map is through all these bridges. So bridges, double bridge, double bridge, double bridge, double bridge, double bridge, double bridge, and then you've got triple bridge right there. So there's lots of these very tight choke points, but once you open up that and that, there's more easy ways to get through where you can just kind of come through these big open areas into there, come through this big open area into there. But lots of very defensible little bridges, but like multiple next to each other, so it's not just one tiny Yonsu bridge. This map looks fun. It's a smaller map. It will definitely have some cool aggressive build orders. In terms of pushing into your opponent's base, they don't have a natural ramp, so there's no natural there, but they could like push Marines forward to that high ground to defend an adept potentially. As they push out to a third, they are, you know, it's not the closest third, but it's also not the easiest to assault. It is reasonably narrow, right? Like if you're a Zerg trying to break a 3-base Protoss, they sit their army right here and they're pretty close to defending there and there. Cool map, I like it. I think the bridges seem really fun. Strong defender's advantage on them could be really cool. Sure says the colorful tiles are actually not there on the latter edition of the map. They've made it so it looks nicer and it's obviously easier for your system to load as well. Next up we have Triton Elly, a series. This map features a mixture of bases on high and low ground set in Frozen Outpost. A Zelnaga watchtower in the center of the map gives a vision of important attack routes. Bundle up! I like it. Are we in 1999? Am I downloading a porno? Is that what I'm... What's going on right now? Is this the most HD of all images? Is this a 600 megabyte image? What's going on right now? Are they gonna be boobs? Is it gonna be one of those trick ones? You thought it was gonna be boobs and instead it's just like a giant hairy fat dude showing his ass crack or something? Is it? All right, we're just gonna wait, guys. What's going on? Why is this taking so long? What the hell? I'm gonna refresh this. It takes this long, I'll be so mad, man. Mom, put the phone down! I'm trying to download my pixels! What a lovely first impressions of the map pool this is, guys. We're just gonna go back and I guess I'll judge it from elsewhere. Triton Elly, SC2, Google Images. think this is it. I think I found it. Okay, we found it. Fantastic. All right, there we go. Okay, let's take a look. So this is Triton Elly. It says expansions on the high and low ground, etc., etc. Main base, natural, and then that's almost certainly going to be your third, because this one, a little bit hard to get up to. Just a little bit hard to get up there. You might go for it, but I feel like this third's going to be more common. That being said, who knows, maybe you could go third there, fourth there. It's still going to be preference. I mean, there's nice, if you break those rocks down, there's like a pretty good open area in front of it to defend. Are there any cliffs above these? Like that's a pretty good siege tank staging point where you drop the Marines there and stim them in and out, but I think it's a little bit too far away. Thinking TVZ. Tanks up here. You know, these areas kind of sieging these bases could be very powerful. You could go fourth base there, fifth base there, or you could take the central one. In terms of natural to natural, we are of course going to be looking straight through the middle, through the sight blockers, through there, and that's going to be your path through the middle. Now obviously there are alternate paths, but pre-rocks being down, there aren't too many of them. I think these are all sight blockers, or maybe they're actually movement blockers, I'm not sure. So, lots of little paths there. Let's get rid of that clutter. So as I said, this is, whoops, sorry. Now I do believe these are just sight blockers, and then that looks like a watchtower in the middle. So just as always, making the middle area very useful to hold that watchtower. We've got destructible rocks here and here. And opening those destructible rocks up is going to give you a lot more movement, because until those go down, the only access to this middle area, say you're on the left-hand side of the map, is you either come up here, or you come, whoops, or you come through there, or you kind of come through there. Whereas the moment these are down, there's much more free movement, right? Once those are down, you can just kind of move back and forwards from left to right of the map very easily. So as it is, there's kind of like this diagonal split of the high ground where there's this side of the map and there's this side of the map to a certain extent. Watchtower is going to be very useful, but it is also on the low ground, remember. So the players around it do get a high ground advantage. In terms of the main base, it looks like a smaller main base. Watch out for siege tanks sieging up there in Terran versus Terran to take out some of your production facilities. Lovely air superiority angles. Doesn't look like tanks will be able to reach the mineral line or even the gas geysers from the low ground. Once again, you get yourself a natural ramp. A natural ramp, always very nice. If you're, say, Terran against Protoss, put Marines up there. Some good shit. Yeah, I do think these are all sight blockers, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll have to, of course, check when it comes out. Looks like there's a lot of sight blockers all over, though. And yeah, in terms of the movement, interesting high to low ground dynamics, quite a few paths across the map, and anything that encourages a lot of movement, I'm always happy for. Anything that encourages multiple angles and advantages in different areas of the map gets me bloody randy, gets me excited. Excited. Guys, how many goddamn 1v1 maps are there? They're putting 5 new maps in? I thought I was done. We're not done. The next one is Winter's Gate. It's a smaller map with a direct route between the two players. Let's once again grab this into green shot. And let's just read the little description, shall we? Winter's Gate, smaller map with a direct route between high ground third base locations. However, inhibitor zone generators are placed along the way to slow down any units that go past them. Be cautious of the path you choose. Isn't that adorable? All right, so you can see here, we are going to go in Winter's Gate. So expansion main, natural, and third there or there, depending on preference. Natural to natural is going to be... Oh, right, third to third. So yeah, the middle third base is what they meant there. Bam, 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 through these inhibitor zones to each other's natural, or even if they take the middle third there. Basically, this natural to natural is what I'm always more interested in, because the third base could change where it is. So that's through inhibitor zones, but you can take faster routes, at least less inhibited routes down here, or you could branch in there. Likewise, wait, is that walled off? No, there's a ramp there. And you could come in swoop or swoop. So these sides not as inhibited. Inhibitor zone there, inhibitor zone there, inhibitor zone there, inhibitor zone there, inhibitor zone there. Okay, so just 2 inhibitor zones kind of obstructing this little area in front of this potential base. But other than that, the sides are mostly free. Of course, the middle area, once again, we're looking at a big high ground area, very useful to hold. It looks like it's got a watchtower in the middle, I believe. So really nice area to hold on to. If you can hold this area, that'll be great. But there's a lot of paths around the side, even though most of it's on the low ground, and then you do get up to the high ground up here and here. In terms of the main base and the natural, if we look up here at this base, tank siege here, they might reach 1 gas, but not the minerals. There's no devastating tank positions. If tanks do move up and siege here, production might be in range. So there could be some really nice TVT air superiority pushes coming in. Obviously, you can never tell the dead space on these maps until you actually get on them. I never know how much is actual dead space along the edges for prisms to fly in and that sort of thing. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it looks like a pretty cool map. Relatively short rush distance, but reasonably dynamic movement around the edges. I don't think it's quite as interesting as the previous maps. There's just something about the way the paths all kind of converge in rather simple locations. Like, I feel like, I guess up here, it's kind of like a bit of a dead end. This corner of the map, it's like, yeah, you can take some bases, but like it's just another way to get back to the center areas, which seem very important. So expansion patterns will be very important here. We'll see exactly how it plays out. Last and final map for 1v1, guys, is World of Sleepers LE. This dreamlike battleground provides 3 choices for your third base. The standard option, the aggressive low ground base with the rich geyser, and the protected base located behind a row of depleted minerals. Let's go. Interesting. Okay. This map kind of reminds me of Catalyst and stuff a bit. Good to see another map with this tile set. Main, natural, third, fourth, fifth, and likewise down the other side of the map from there to there. So that's going to be a very common expansion layout. Of course, you could also go third, fourth, or even fourth there and fifth there if you want more of a pocket. Doesn't look like there's any watchtowers. Natural to natural rush distance is like that. So yeah, reasonably direct path, few choke points, it's through the low ground, and there is these high ground areas all around it. So this time we've got the high ground kind of on the edges of the middle of the map. There is another low ground there, of course, but I feel like these high ground areas kind of overseeing the middle, yeah, going to be very interesting with the positioning. The ability to kind of siege from those high grounds, do damage up there is going to be cool. Little ambushing, infestors, fungling, mass cyclone and stuff, it's going to be really cool. Apparently there were mineral blockers. Which map? This map? Does this map have mineral blockers? You're talking about the previous map. Sure. I didn't realize there were mineral blockers. I'll take a look. Apparently the low ground bases have super gas, guys. Oh, that's purple gas. Good. Ooh, purple gas there and there, guys. So there is a rich geyser on this low ground. Ooh, but it's only a single gas. And is it 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's, I think it's a full mineral line. Looks like a full mineral line, but only 1 gas, but it's a rich gas. So it doesn't give you as much gas mining as having a full base, but you need less workers to get it. So it's a trade-off. You end up with like about, I think, 2/3 as much gas as you would get from having 2 regular gas geysers mining. People are saying this map has mineral blockers. Where? There's no mineral blockers that show up on this image at all. Right? Or are these mineral blockers? Oh, those are mineral blockers, but they look like really heavy mineral patches. Ah, just those ones, right? Nice. So you can open these paths up. Apparently they're double layered, so you need to mine 2 trips to open up a hole. They're saying, no, the grass next to the third. Triangle third next to... Oh, there it is. There it is. No, this one. Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So to get to that third base, you need to mine down some minerals to get to it. Okay. I mean, I think the other thirds, I guess that third's a bit easier to take because it's in a lovely little triangle. So yeah, okay, I guess this would be the more natural third, and then you take that fourth in the middle, or that one. That's kind of your 5 base setup. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you mine these minerals down to get down. I mean, I don't think that's going to be very impactful, these minerals. I feel like it's just like, well, if I want to take this third, I just mine through there. I don't even know. It feels like they just, let's throw the mechanic in there. Yeah, doesn't really do much. We'll see how it goes. In terms of this map though, yeah, it reminds me a bit of like Catalyst and a few of these other maps like that. Just interesting path through the middle. Blue Shift is the map it's reminding me of. Because that had a low ground alley through the middle with high ground on either side. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty brutal choke point. Like if tanks are sieging up here and stuff, they can, you know, they can definitely do some nice sieges around this piece of terrain on that third base. If you're a Zerg player, that could be pretty awkward. But at the same time, plenty of room to go around and flank. We've got destructible rocks there and there, destructible rocks to open up the paths. And unlike Blue Shift, there's actually easy access from the sides into the middle. Easy access. Whereas on Blue Shift, you'd have to break down rocks just to get into the middle. There was only 2 entrance points from the side. Cool. Fascinating. All right, I like these maps, guys. They all look rather unique, rather interesting. Quick glance at the team maps. We've got Roscalian, a 2v2 map here. Piss off. Should open this before, sorry guys. 4v4 map as well. Yeah. So what maps are they getting rid of in 1v1? So they're only keeping Acropolis and Thunderbird, guys. That means King's Cove is gone. New Repugnancy, Rufus! No, we only have 2 weeks with Rufus left, guys. I was really worried they would get rid of Rufus. There better be doggos on some of these new maps. I hope Rufus is on one of the new maps. So they're getting rid of everything except Acrop and Thunderbird. So if I go in game and look at my veto list to remind myself. New Repugnancies, gone. Karis Junction, gone. Cyberforest, gone. Acropolis, staying. Thunderbird, staying. Turbo Cruise, gone. King's Cove, gone. That's interesting. So yeah, I guess not overly surprising. Yeah, nonetheless, cool to see. All right, so these maps struggling to load here. I think this is the 4v4 map I'm looking at. It's 4v4 Mementos LE. Mementos. Do you guys like that movie, Mementos? Where he's tattooing stuff on himself? Jesus Christ. I think, looks like you spawn, oh yeah, you get back bases, you spawn up here. One player starts off on their own, I think, over there. There's always like, there's one reject player in this 4v4 map. Cool middle ground, high ground area, high to low ground, paths around the edges. Yeah, cool enough for 4v4. There's a back rock access point into the 3 players' bases, while the single player doesn't have any back access point. Cool. And the other ones are refusing to load for me. So the 3v3 map is Jungle Depths. You can see it's jungly, and the 2v2 map, it's a 2v2 map. That's the end of my beautiful first impressions, guys. Sorry, too lazy to go over those in detail. I'll play them out and actually have some deep thoughts. There's only so much generic looking at maps I can do before my brain just wanders off. Thanks for hanging, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this run through. I appreciate the support. We'll be back with some more coverage in a sec.